Yes, hello. I'm just trying not to die as someone else. Um, there are entities out there that know I I don't want to die as someone else, and they do everything to cover it up. They know it's embarrassing, but not embarrassing in a lot of ways that you might think it to be. It's embarrassing for the pure fact of knowing that something can exist outside of one's beliefs in such a way that can contradict them with what they have. See, I'm not a quote unquote American Indian. I'm not this entity that can be seen as someone else, even. Those types of understandings come out of respect. Like someone giving you a nickname just because they like you. Not fucking throwing someone's identity at you like fucking dirt in your eyes. So as of right now, it could be an honest mistake, and I accept that. But the fact is, we're dying every single day as someone else. Even worse, what happens to quote unquote American Indian women is that they die as someone else, but in a very different way from even how us men would be dying. They get seen as a statistic that supports another uh, group of people's fucking statistic. They get seen as an American woman. Which allows me to know that fucking it's almost like this cultish way of seeing things. Like, why would it like, who the fuck even doesn't fucking know this? You know? Like, if these people are gonna put so much faith into this fucking system, why don't they know what the system actually fucking does? Unless they're there who actually just don't fucking care. Unless they just don't care. That's what I'm understanding. Unless they just don't fucking care. I mean, I recorded a 30-minute video with no sound. How fucking crazy is that, you know? Fucking poured my heart out and everything, but fucking no sound. And what that was saying is fucking, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna come out of this. I don't know if I'm gonna come out of this fucking in one piece. Whoever this fucking entity is, man, they flicker lights. They do all kinds of weird shit just to try to fuck with you psychologically. To make you doubt yourself, even. To make you just into this thing that fucking is receptive to shit. Almost as if you didn't even know. And from what I understand is whoever these people are, they're like a cult. Like a Jim Jones looking cult. Because they'll work for the system. Yeah, they will. But they'll always share the idea that anyone who says anything against this shit is just someone who's trying to seek control. Someone who's just trying to fucking look like Jim Jones, even. To be this fucker. And I apologize for the language. And fucking, I don't know where else I could be. You know? How are we still Indians? 300 years after, so how many, whatever the fuck the story will actually be. Christopher Columbus and his fucking thing. How are we still Indians? I don't understand. But there have been things in history that make me think that there are certain things that we can't understand about that type of mentality of just not caring, you know? Some people, when they do shit, it's for the pure fact that they do it for their motives, which is something you can never understand. Honestly, you can't. You don't know why someone goes and drinks water, even if that just looks like they're just someone who wants to drink water. You don't understand why they do that, or how they do that, or even how they're doing it. You can't understand that. You can only put it in such a way to try to make sense out of it. But this type of mind control technology, it's starting to scare me. Because I feel like what it is that they're using on me has been used and developed in such a way through the use of people for it to have even fucking gotten that far. Like they made them fear themselves. They made them think that fucking anything they did is just all for nothing. That you're just this bullshitter. That you're just someone who can fucking just say anything to make you believe in something. And that's as easy as knowing that they can watch you. They can look at you from a distance and know when it is that you gotta take a breath to even say the next fucking thing that you want to say. And then insert themselves in such a way to fucking make it look and appear as though they know what they're talking about when they don't. And the thing is about those types of situations is, unless you really know what you're doing, fucking do not care at all. Don't make them think that you fucking care what it is that they do. Don't. I mean, that's if you're not there to fucking fix things, essentially. Like, not in any bad way, but in a good way. Like, you don't know how. Because they thrive off of that. They thrive off of fear. Whoever these fuckers are, they thrive off of fear. It's the only way they get by. It's the only way they see things. They think things have to be just fucking fearful and fucking violent. And it revolves around fucking someone's idea of the fucking world being the only fucking thing that you should know about what it is that someone can offer about the world. Like a king. Like a really fucked up king. So whoever these people are, just know, at least for anyone who's American, quote-unquote, Indian, who would be watching this, it's not going to be limited to just white people, to how we would know how shit has actually been in American history. It's not going to be limited to them. They sent people of even African American descent after me. Because they wanted to say things like, oh, we're all from Africa. So how would you know that? I wouldn't know. And what that is knowing that there are nations out there who haven't even acknowledged that this continent exists. And the people who exist on it exist outside of their beliefs and what it is that they've built as infrastructure throughout the years. I mean, has fucking have people came out and said that we as American Indians, right? That's how we want to be represented as a whole, by the way. Because we are being represented as a whole, even though there are 500 nations that exist on this fucking continent alone. Fucking. Have they even acknowledged that? Have they came together and were like, hey, even though we had God, even, that we didn't know this place existed and we're supposed to already know what it is that fucking exists in this fucking life. Because God says so. Or even gods. Or even dictators. Or rulers. See how they even say masters. No. They didn't. You know why that is? It's because people who come here to America, they come from those backgrounds and they know that no one's looking here. They know that no one cares about what's happening over here. So what do? They build enterprises, they build corporations, they build a lot of different shit over here. And they pollute the grounds and they fucking just don't give a shit. You know? Because they know that people don't give a shit. And what they have that they try to control people with by saying that is the only truths, even in this life, fucking, they know it can be contradicted by the fact that just even us as nations, as people who exist here, exist in a way that contradict even those beliefs of how they wanted to say that they knew everything with what they had. I talked to a guy and he's like, my ancestors mapped out the constellations and already knew the known universe. And I had to be like, great, but they didn't know we existed over here. They didn't even know this place existed over here. And it shook them up. They did. But the thing is, instead of being some weird way about it, he's like, you're right. He's like, they didn't know. And I'm like, yeah, there's a lot that we just don't understand about this place. There really is. There's a lot more we could be understanding, but as of right now, fucking, unless we acknowledge that even shit like this is happening, how the fuck are we supposed to know anything else? It's gonna be revolved around this idea that some type of entity out there is supposed to know everything. And they're gonna be basing themselves off of it in such a fucking way. Saying they already know and understand and fucking realize or fucking have become part of and shit. And it's tough. Because the American, quote unquote, American Indian identity has been wrapped around in so much conspiracy. Fucking, we were already being seen as someone else. You know? They wanted to call us Indians. They did. And that's not even it, too. There was the 3-race rule that they always lived by around here. Especially here in the America. Or, not just Americas, but North America. And that is how fucking American Indians are somehow Mongoloids. And why would they say they know that much? Why would they say they already understand that much? Did they even ask? They want to ask? Fuck no. They're too busy making slaves out of people and fucking sucking resources out of the fucking ground. That's where I get into how whoever these fuckers are also a cult that believe in things like pedophilia and incest. Because that shit existed everywhere. I don't care who the fuck you are, but it did. It existed everywhere. And it's not something that should exist. I don't care if that is a personal opinion. That's just what I fucking know. Because it damages people psychologically. But some people would say, oh, and this is how you gotta look out for these fuckers. Because they use logic in a weird way. They'll be like, well, men fucking are made to be territorial, pedophilic, sexual predators or whatever. That's why they're more muscularly built, so they can hold down who it is that they're going to rape and impregnate or whatever. And it's like, well, you're gonna exploit that for what it could actually be. You know, you that's the first thing I'm noticing is that you're exploiting it for what it is that you want it to be. Because it's like, yes, we do understand that certain things do exist in such a way, but they can no longer exist in such a way. You understand? That's just how we know it. Because eventually we started understanding that there are more things, there are things in life that are worth knowing, you know, compared to what it is that fucking we've already knew. Because if we stuck to what we already knew, how would we get anywhere? But you look at them. They would have contradicted that fact and make fucking series and shit out of it. That fucking make it look like it's just fucking brand new. So don't let them make you convinced, man, because fucking that's how they're hitting a lot of young men these days. Hitting them with that pedophilia and incest stuff immediately to get them fucking high on fucking nothing. So they become fucking, at that point, actually fucking sexual predators. And I see it too. See it on the internet, man. Fucking young men are going out looking for young ladies that look like they're fucking barely even 13 years old and shit. It's fucked up. I like that. I don't understand, man. They want you to believe that that's the only way you can exist in this place. It doesn't have to be. So some people don't even think about sex. Some people don't even give a shit to know that much. You know? I'm not saying that that shit didn't exist either, because it did. Because that's how the theory of how genetics had fucking degraded from a certain point because of incest. Because of incest alone. That we came to a point where we can no longer do it. That's just how it is. And then pedophilia? Pedophilia was something that wasn't even seen as pedophilia. Fucking, that was just something that people did. It's a really weird thing. And don't be embarrassed to know that much. Because fucking, that's how they get you. They want you to feel like you should be embarrassed. And it is. It's kind of weird because no one ever teaches you these things these days, you know? The fact is, it did exist. And it doesn't have to exist. At least anymore. Because we know how it can psychologically harm people. We know that it does these things. So we can't just sit idly by and let these fuckers literally eat us alive. Because they will. They will. I mean, they're flickering lights and deactivating my accounts and fucking with my electronics even as we speak. Because they know fucking I'm going to tell them that fucking they're wrong. Not just in any way that tries to prove somehow I'm this individual who wants to be seen. It's like, no, I don't even want to be seen. You are the fuckers who want me to be seen. That's why I'm being called an Indian, for fuck's sake. It's like, if anything, I'd rather stick to the fucking shadows and fucking stay out of sight and out of mind. But no, you guys have me on a fucking world stage. This fucker is even gonna agree that fucking what you say is right, because that's how it is. And I'm sorry, I would show my face, but fucking, they'd scan it. Know how to identify me with it. I mean, I'm not pretty looking either, so whatever. Fucking, most I can do is just fucking try to alert people. Let them fucking know so they can try to survive instead of fucking becoming a statistic for these fuckers to try to prove what it is that they have is right. When it's wrong. They're dead fucking wrong. Things like incest, pedophilia shouldn't exist. And yes, the identity of American Indian shouldn't exist the way it does, but it does. And that's not even scratching the surface of what it is. These ideas came from somewhere. Okay? They're not going to limit it to quote-unquote white people, even though there would be white people doing these things. It's just how it has to be seen if we want to ever learn anything. The shit is international. So I don't understand how people just fucking let it fucking slip through the cracks and shit, you know? Like, how the fuck are you gonna let them come over here and just fucking just pollute this shit? Fucking act like they don't give a fuck, because they won't. Their ideas are gonna make them even fucking not care. Say to view science in such a way, science isn't biased. And that's another thing they don't tell you. Science isn't biased. It isn't. It takes one thing to know another. And if you say it is any way else, then fucking obviously you don't know a lot. But they're conditioning themselves to me and to the truth in general. They're trying to take over, not just here, but they'll take over everywhere. That's how people should have fucking listened. That's how they should have fucking actually said something and tried to do something about what it is that's happening to us, quote-unquote, American Indians, because they used us as fucking target practice this whole fucking time. And you people just, you weren't even aware of it. A lot of you weren't even aware of it. That's how they're going to take over. Because these Americans, they're made up of everyone who comes over here and calls themselves an American, who believes in it. And it's not going to be everyone who's quote-unquote American who's wrong. There'll be some people who actually do believe in things like freedom of speech and expression. Not in any wrong way either. It's like I said, it's getting to a point where fucking I just feel like I won't be able to escape again, you know? Because each and every time I got cornered, man, I fucking have to cut off something and let them fucking deal with it, you know? I have to let them fucking squeal around whatever it is that they think they have in their hands and shit. All I know is this stuff could bypass even what Trump is doing. Or trying to do. That is wrap our minds around something in such a way to make us believe that what it is that they got will fucking work, even if it's wrong. They're conspiracists. The people who do this. Because they do things like spill blood around you just for speaking the truth. Best believe it. It's the first things they do. Especially if you don't believe in things like killing people. Like, you don't believe that you should, like, you know, fucking, there's this ability that you can kill someone. Or that you understand what it takes to kill someone. Even in a legal setting. Because yes, that's how the fucking criminal justice system is fucking split apart right now. Is that knowing fucking capital punishment's a real thing in this country. And it's like, well, what about the contradiction of knowing that someone would literally want to kill someone in such a way to see that fucking, if they get the criminal fucking penalty of fucking being killed for it. But they don't care. Because what it is it builds up their statistics and their information in such a way. At least the fuckers who do this, who knowingly do it. To say that through statistics and logic in weird fucking ways, that they know what they're talking about. I mean, I don't have a badge, people. I don't have a lot of things. So you're gonna have to do what you can. I try my best, you know. It's the best I can do. It's fucking, there's gonna be a point where I can't even go as far as I want to. Cause I'll always be tied down to whatever it is that wants to tie me down, you know? Thinking they already understand it all. So be careful, cause fucking, like, they attack you psychologically to break you down into a place that makes you, like, even physically violent just from constant interaction with that type of environment. Like, they'll wait for you to stop speaking and insert themselves as soon as they stop speaking to make you think that anyone who even comes at you at that point in time, because yes, speaking when someone else is done speaking is actually a good thing to do, that because they do it in such a way, you'd be so conditioned to it that anyone that would come around you at that point in time, fucking, you would think they were just one of them. They're like that. They're really sneaky fuckers. They're not smart. That's why we're gonna fucking lose everything. They're not fucking smart. Don't let them think that just because they put you in a place where they make you believe that fucking there's no reason to even try to fucking believe in their bullshit. Because they did things like incriminate the arts in order to get what they want. Because they know that art in itself is strong enough to defeat them. It is. It'll always be. They don't know that. They think fucking killing people is the only thing that'll matter. When in reality, the powers of healing are stronger than that. It's like knowing, and I was saying it earlier, fucking like knowing that you could be big enough to take a blade without it actually hurting you, to where you could take out that person who's trying to stab you, but if that blade were rusted and you were just this dumb fucker who spent his whole life fucking just focusing on one thing in such a way, resistance to one thing in such a way, you know, tetanus would fucking take you out. It would kill you. As big as you think you are. And that's just the reality of what it is. But they don't like hearing that because fucking... And it's sad to say, good things in life, man, they're corny. It is. They are. They're corny. That's where they're that type of sneaky fucker to come in, right? Come in and even incriminate corny things in such a way to infiltrate and to gain control. Well, I don't know what more fucking there is. I'm not going to die as someone else. I don't even need to be seen as anything or even seen at all. That's why. Why the fuck do I need to be acknowledged by people who just at this point fucking don't even know? They should be the one to want to see me, you know? Like they have to be the people who want to know more about me. But they're already trying to say they do, out there at least. That's why things like the Bering Strait theory has been the fucking pioneer for these fuckers to just come in and just take people and resources, fucking everything that they can find to try to justify what it is that they do. And that's been contradicted more than one way. That's why I don't fucking understand. And I don't gotta be that person to tell you exactly where to look to even know that, because they should know that, but they don't. They cherry pick. They only take the information that they want out of it in order to suit their needs for fucking total domination. To gain resources, people, information, anything that they fucking find. There is one thing I'm missing out of this, though. Because I did record another video with no sound. And that is, for one, I know why it is that they fucking put their resources. Would you want to cut down the trees? You know? Do you want to cut down the trees? Just to even survive. And it's like, no, we could be using alternative energies. But go for it. Convince me that we need to pollute fucking groundwater in order to get what it is that you think is more appropriate than the whole reason you're even there. So those are the same fuckers who had, and it's a weird coincidence that they're the same fuckers who don't give a shit about us, quote unquote, American Indians, and who also try to justify things like pedophilia and incest and the ability to kill at all. It's a weird coincidence, but you'll find them there. So, I'll have to leave this here for you people who actually want to try to understand shit, because fucking, like I said, I don't think I'm gonna come out of this, you know? My other recording, I was fucking crying when I said this. Now I can't even care anymore. Fucking, I just know. I know for a fact I'm not gonna come out of this. I'm not. So I did everything I could to try to make sure they fucking care, you know? Because it's the only time I ever fucking see them for what they are. It's the only time I ever fucking see when shit actually makes sense. Because they'll be like, no, I can't be bothered to care about this one thing. But fucking, you put shit in front of their face, they'll fucking run the other way. You know what I'm saying? That's just how they are. They choose to only see what it is that they want to see and fucking believe what it is that they want to believe. And in this life, there are just situations that fucking that won't work. That it just won't work. And I'm sorry to say it, but just because you believe fire won't burn you, fucking, it's not gonna happen that way. It'll burn. It's gonna fuck you up. But that's what I'm saying. Just know, even while I'm doing this, they're trying to they're trying to condition themselves to the truth against it. Because they know for a fact that this is going to be everything it'll take to blow a lid off on these fuckers, you know? For who they really are instead of who they try to say they are. Because that shit matters, by the way. So, I hope you people can find peace. You know, I'm probably, you know, in my pursuits, fucking find only the means to my own end. Somehow. So, as in fucking, oh, it's just complicated bullshit. But it's worth it, because then I get to take out the fuckers who try to take me out, who've been torturing people in this very same way. That's all I really care about. Honestly, at this point. Like, yeah, I'm, 20-something years old. I could be out there chasing women, trying to get pussy, or, trying to get high, or fucking going out there and doing stupid shit. But here I am. Here I am. And that's okay, too. I don't mind it at all. So good luck. Just know if you try to do all of, good things in life, there are going to be those that just fucking will not agree with you. Because what it is that you might be doing that's good, they might see as something that's just fucking terribly wrong for them. And that's just how they work. That's just how they choose to be. It's not how it's supposed to be. And even that is crazy. But oh well. I choose not to be a murdering pedophile. A murdering one. And a pedophile. Because I don't believe that men are just supposed to be thinking that fucking anything that's too weak or something is just, good to go or whatever. Like, it's just fair game or whatever because we can somehow control them with using physical force or something, It's not supposed to be like that. Because I don't feel that way. So, that's all you'll be looking for, unfortunately. But just know, if you don't care, they have a means. They have a means of targeting you in such a way. They do. Like, if you don't care, if you choose not to care, even for any good reason, they know at a certain point they gotta get rid of you. That's why caring is literally one of the only things you can do sometimes. I mean, that's if you want to survive. As for me, it didn't take some notion of life and death for me to want to care. I always cared. Always have. I mean, you don't have to believe me, but yeah. I always wanted to know more. I always wanted to experience more. I always didn't want to be limited to what it is that someone could say that I can do in this life. Because I knew that I'm fucking better than that. Because I knew that fucking the things I enjoy in life aren't the same things that other people would enjoy as a whole. So good luck to you people. I'm gonna try not to fucking die an Indian. And that's every day. At least to those people who act like it isn't fucking something that's actively there. Fucking trying to erase you. Like, no, fucking, it's every day. Every fucking day. So, good luck to you and yours. Hopefully you don't become a victim of that